This is Paul. Yes. I was just looking at this transportation this morning. Yep. They say here, the automobile changed man's way of life. Now, for a lot of us, we didn't grow up when there was no automobiles. hmm Quite a long time ago, they didn't really have many of them. Back to the 1960s and 1950s, I think they introduced the national highway system. And it seems like things are really going fast today. I mean, we've got a lot going on as a nation. And I got to thinking about the transportation needs. See, yesterday I was at the library, and the United States Treasury had certain individuals in the federal government that work with them about getting their ASAP payments for whatever it was that they were purchasing. And I thought that was so good, I should email all those federal employees about waste, fraud, abuse, and mismanagement. Yeah. Well, when I found out how fast I could put an email together and emailed them last night, I realized that every federal employee is legally liable for the enforcement of the laws. As soon as you have the evidence that you can disclose fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement, as a condition of employment, you have the obligation to do that. Well, I got to thinking about the agency contact information. And even though I had emailed the Washington state legislature thousands of times before they had the election, I found the email addresses of the new Washington state legislature that has been elected, that happens to be in office right now. But then they kind of revamped their whole state website. Yes. And I found all the email addresses of the various departments or agencies, yes, of the state of Washington. And I decided to email the state employees, yes, about fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement. Now, so that they understand as whistleblowers, you are legally liable for any knowledge of the use of a forgery when issuing court orders. You are legally liable for the knowledge of fraud, yes, of violating the rights of American citizens. You are liable for the abuse of authority to refuse to give those named as parties actual notice and opportunity to be heard when issuing dissolutions of marriage. Yes. When you don't have the jurisdiction of the United Nations. Yes. And when my sons are kidnapped and being held hostage. Now, for each and every state and federal employee that really feels like you got a lot to do today, we're going to talk about transportation this morning. And then, I found out in the Office of Supervision of Public Instruction, the office that I'd already emailed. Yeah, I emailed all of the supervisory staff, the executives of the Washington State office, and their executive assistants, the secretaries that should always want, yes, the name on a teaching certificate to be the maiden name of a woman that wants to divorce a man. Now, today you're going to say, well, we just can't enforce the laws. We cannot obligate federal right now. And I'm going to say that I'm going to email every employee of the state and federal governments that I have the right to sue. Yes. Because my thought is, I'm so sorry, but you're going to prison. Now, obviously, the Seattle Police Department didn't do anything. And for all the civil rights coordinators in every school district, yes, we're going to change some things because I spent some time explaining to actual attorneys their legal obligation, yes, to support the laws, to support the state constitution, yeah, inclusive of the federal laws, right, and inclusive of all of the United States Constitution. Yeah, I did that a couple days ago. Phew. And then yesterday, when at the senior center, I emailed about 4,000 email addresses, inclusive of approximately 700 to 800 attorneys. Now, what's going to happen is we're never going to have any more civil rights employees of any city. We won't have civil rights coordinators in any school district. Oh, because I emailed 600 of them, yes, about my sons being kidnapped. My sons are in the wrong grades. They should actually be in different grades than the grades that they're in. See, what's going to happen is I'm going to sue every attorney. And then anytime any American citizen feels, yes, that they have the evidence, yes, of their rights being violated, they can just go to an attorney's office, and every attorney of the United States will be federal. Oh, see, we'll be able to remove what could be tens of thousands of employees. Yes, additional trainings of the Department of Education. Yes, that if you know that your civil rights are being violated, every attorney in the United States, without any consideration of themselves, yes, will be obligated to report to a federal department of the United States federal government, yes, known as the Department of Law, my civil rights are being violated. Yes. Now, since every attorney will have the obligation to support all civil rights laws, yes, it will remove a lot of the redundancy right now, right now.